back with another season and episode of Biz Mindz, and we're actually here with Breno and Chris. Breno is the founder of Winfield Street Coffee, and Chris is the culinary director. Thank you guys so much for joining us and taking the time out of your day to shoot this episode. So let's just jump right into it. And I'm very happy that we're doing this episode because my brother and I, and even Joanna, is familiar with the food industry. Not an easy industry at all to be in. So
piece of cake, right?
Let's talk about, how you guys, Breno, how you got into the industry, and then how you are where you're at today. So let's start there.
Sure. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
So I moved to the country. I was 18 years old and started work. My first job was a dishwasher job at a pizza place. Mm-hmm. And I fell in love, like right there and then. Like literally everything about the business. There's just something about the people that work in our industry that that they have differently, right? You guys been in it for, you were in it for a long time. You can identify.
Yeah.
Especially when you bring somebody to interview, like those people you got to be a little bit crazy, a little bit more passionate about, just that. So as soon as I started working as a dishwasher, I fell in love. I was like, I belong here, like right here in this dish pit, like sweaty,
wow,
full of dishes. I was like, I belong here.
You had passion.
And I didn't speak any English, so I stayed in the dish pit for a long time.
Where are you from?
Brazil.
Brazil.
Yeah, but little.
And where was this place that you were working at? What city?
Greenwich, Connecticut. Greenwich. Yeah, I lived in Norwalk at somebody's couch. Mm-hmm. And then I took the bus to Greenwich, and 12 hours later, I was back home.
Wow. How old were you?
18.
18.
Yeah.
From Brazil. Mm-hmm. No family?
No family. No.
Okay.
No family. Yeah. No family. No English. It was. There were definitely dark times, mm-hmm. but just being in that pizza place, it gave me joy.
Right.
It's kind of like a family,
Yeah.
We had lunch at the same time. We sat down for lunch. Customer walked in during our lunch hour, would get the face. Like, get the hell out of here. This is not time for pizza.
Right.
But little by little, just it rubbed in, it rubbed in me like the cooking, making pasta and sauce and the sauce and the pizza dough. I love the cooking. I don't claim to be a great chef. That's why Chris.
That's Chris.
That's Chris. But I can, in a pinch, I can definitely do anything in our menu and more. So make you a mean pizza too.
Right.
But yeah, about a year later, I finally graduated to salad guy, and then with a broken English, started taking orders on the phone, and mm-hmm. From there. That family actually happened to have a ton of pizzerias in Connecticut. They were kind of like the pizza mafia there. Like mm-hmm. they had maybe 25, 30. Each cousin had one,
Yeah. And Connecticut is known for great pizza, right?
Yeah.
What's this place? Are they still there? Or we can't?
Yeah, it's there. Yeah, it's there. It's patronized by all the Yankee players and stuff. I got to meet a bunch of them.
Nice.
It's called Pizza Post.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So they were, they were so nice to me. And then there was a bunch of immigrants between, Guatemalans and Colombians and Italians. And, obviously the Italians ones were the ones allowed to touch the pizza. And,
Yeah.
But it was great. And then my favorite job of all times was when I graduated to oven guy. Mm-hmm. When I retire, I'm going back to oven guy, by the way, like 100%. It's just something, it's exhilarating to be able to just take care of 27 pizzas at the same time. Mm-hmm. And you have to know the timing in your head. It's about 5 minutes and 55 seconds per pizza, and you got to turn them, and, burns in your arms, and it's just, it's really good.
No, it sounds really fun. and okay, and let's Chris.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about yourself too. Like, how did you get into the food industry?
I immigrated from the Philippines.
Okay.
And around 1920, came to the States, and I started as a food truck. I worked in several restaurants also, lower, and made my way eventually, saving all my money, bought a food truck, and from there I was able to expand to multiple food trucks and a few smaller restaurants as well.
So you owned your own food trucks?
Yep. Yeah.
Nice. And okay, perfect. So Breno, tell me, like, from that pizza shop, how old were you? What was the next step in your career and like in your life? Where did you go from that pizza shop, and how old were you when you transitioned?
At 20, I started working as a sort of like an assistant to the owner, where I would go around the other pizza shops and just, kind of sort of a little district manager in a sense. Like, I got some responsibilities, deposit cash in the bank and that stuff. After that, I convinced the owner to let me use a little portion of one of the buildings to open a gelato shop next to his pizza place. I was able to increase his revenue by linking him to a gelato chef that I knew, that I met, and that kind of like, it was kind of perfect for where he was. People used to go to the pizza and then go to the gelato shop. He gave me a nice bonus. I put that in the savings. After that, I got my first coffee job. I decided to take a break from the pizza. Found the coffee job, found that's where I met my wife. Actually, I made her espresso. That was the first time we met.
That's
Yeah.
the love story right there.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Cut! Wait. Cut. Shay, sorry. Do you think you can turn it on? It will be edited, so no worries.
Yeah, it's all good.
Oh, we know when that
Yeah, because that TV actually powers the camera, so I don't want him to go on the other side, actually. You have to go on the other side, Shay. It's the first one on top. Sorry, I just want to make sure it doesn't...
It turned off?
Yes.
Why? Yeah.
Because it's not getting any... Or actually, can you just keep it... Can you just change the input? Just put it on... I don't know. Not an HDMI.
How the heck do I... Oh. I have to hold it for it to change.
Or leave it on HDMI. And I just want to... Yeah, that's fine.
Leave it there?
Yeah, are the cameras, the batteries, how do they look?
That one's full.
Yeah, okay, so that means it's getting the power from the TV. Okay, that's good.
Okay, keep going. Oh, actually, this one's... But it looks like it's charging, it's blinking.
Okay, so if it's charging, it's good. Alright.
All right, cool. I don't remember where we left off, but I know that we were the coffee shop, right?
First coffee job, yeah.
Yep.
I was first exposed to coffee and catering. The place did catering. I was actually, when I met my wife, I was walking over to a business to deliver a tray of muffins. I remember very well. And I see these two beautiful girls, and I heard them talking like, oh, let's go to Starbucks. So I don't like Starbucks. There was a Starbucks right there. I was like, oh, there's actually a great coffee shop right across the street. And when I came back, they were there. So that's where I met my wife.
How old were you?
20.
You were 20. Okay.
Yeah.
And then how long from, you working at that coffee shop, what was the next step?
Next step, I decided to work in. I got an opportunity to be a partner in a restaurant with that same family. So one of the owners wanted to open something different, and I pitched him on farm to table. So we ran that for 3 years. I was a 40% partner. Worked, a lot there until we had to exit that. different story. My partner got arrested.
Yeah.
So we were a farm to table restaurant. My partner, investor, he was there every Friday night. He had other businesses. He was, kind of a big shot, and he owned the whole plaza. Actually, there was a huge plaza there, and we were so busy that he decided that the. Is that okay? That work? No.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Which one?
This is what happens when you switch up the whole.
Yeah,
Still
we
on.
test grounds.
Still on?
Yeah.
Hello?
I made that noise. Yeah, they all have a blinking red light.
Like blinking red is
Okay.
good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it good?
Alright, this one's not blinking, but this is also the one that's like it's charging.
Okay, that's fine. If it's charging, yeah, it's connected.
Those look good too.
Yeah, they're all on.
Okay, perfect.
But is it recording? Does it say recording?
I had
Yeah.
blinking red light.
Okay.
We're good. We got 3 angles.
Let's leave all this in so people can see what's going on.
Bloopers.
We used to do it live, so it was.
Oh, there you go.
stuff.
That's the way to do it. Yeah.
This is nothing.
So
Yeah. No, but my investor, he decided. So we were so busy, and he also had a pizza place in the same plaza and other businesses, that the septic system for the plaza it started to overflow, and it became an issue that he decided to solve with his own hands instead of calling a company. He was old school Italian. He decided to take the sewage, pour it in the river next door. I'm a farm to table restaurant. I don't think he ever understood the concept farm to table.
Right.
So suddenly we were the restaurant that was polluting the river. I'm like,
yeah.
so yeah, but
Doing that is tough too. Like I've cleaned one of those, and those are tough to clean.
they're nasty. And a neighbor, I guess he was doing that like in the middle of the night. Nobody knew about him. A neighbor called the police, and he was in prison for a day. Looked like a mafia boss. But so that was the end of that.
And you did that for 3-4 years, you said?
3 years, yeah.
3 years. So you were 23?
Yep.
Okay. And then after that, when would you transition to after?
After that, I decided that I needed to work with some big companies. So
Okay.
I worked with a place for Joffrey Zacharian in New York City. I worked with Barteca Holdings, Barcelona, Bartaco. Learned like just bigger operations, and until I was recruited to run a boutique hotel called J House in Greenwich, and then. Once I left there, I was ready. My wife was, 9 months pregnant. I was ready to launch my business. Took her savings, and we bought Winfield. Then was known as Winfield Deli. It was actually operating since 1925, and had a great reputation. It had 4 owners in the past, and was very low key residential area. And I really thought that was great because I was just tired of working 100-hour weeks. And I said, my wife we're going to have our first kid. I want to go in the morning, close at 2-3 p.m., go home, spend time with my family. And that's what it was. And,
Right.
and the rest of the time, we rented the kitchen to great businesses like Chris Food Truck. And we had a pasta company doing pasta there. Like we had, different collaborations,
Yeah. Man, and how old were you when you opened up Winfield?
26.
You were 26
Yeah.
when you opened up Winfield? Wow.
Was it one of those things that how people say, "Oh, I don't want to be, I want to be an entrepreneur so that I don't have to work a 9 to 5. Now I work 150 hours a week."
Yeah, no. It was more about I'm always gonna work hard. Like that's that's why when I retire, I want to go back to the oven. But it's just about being able to decide that I can be right here sitting with you guys today, as opposed to being somewhere else.
Yeah.
That freedom.
Being an operator.
Yeah. And Chris, so you owned some food trucks and then you opened up a restaurant?
Yeah. A few like smaller collaboration, like in breweries and whatnot. So
Yeah.
I would come in and rent food, their food space.
Right.
Because in breweries,
Can I say a funny story about that? Like, because Chris Breno is iconic in Connecticut. I mean, like,
You guys are passionate because the food industry, I take my hat off to you guys because it's
And to anybody that's
and to
actually-
anybody that's in it, but like it's a very difficult industry to be in, you know? So, and it's work, you know what I mean? Like it's work no matter what. So, with that said, Breno, tell us about like where you're at with how many locations you guys are at today, and maybe some, you know, future goals or what's going on right now currently with the locations.
Yeah, we last year was a pretty big year for our company. We doubled in size from, well, more than double. We went from 4 to 10 locations.
Wow.
There was a lot of pent up energy and leases signed from COVID, right? Mm-hmm. We signed a deal, for example, with the MTA system, which is a quasi-governmental agency in New York, that the transportation. And we were selected as the first coffee shop to be able to operate on the subway platform.
Wow.
So that was a 4-year process, and we got it in January. I signed the lease in January 30th of 2020. Mm-hmm. And then we were gonna get into the permits and all that, and COVID happened, so we didn't open until like this last year, actually.
Wow. And how many employees right now?
We have 58 now.
58 employees.
Are
Nice.
all your locations here in Florida, or you have another?
No, we have 2 locations here in Naples. For selfish reasons, by the way. We have 3 in Connecticut, the rest are in New York. New York City, and New York State, yeah.
Are you planning on opening up more in Southwest Florida?
Yeah, definitely. We have plans for, Tampa, Miami, Sarasota, everywhere. Have someone in talks to open, someone that wants to be a master operator for Atlanta area. They want to open 15 stores there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the goal is to hit, 2,000 and beyond, so.
2,000.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Wow, man.
Now,
Planning to add pizza to your menu?
Absolutely not. When I retired, I'll have my pizza place. Yeah.
now, for someone that wants to build what you guys are doing, opening one location is not easy. Opening 2 locations, and I think he knows exactly what I'm talking about. It gets harder every time, unless you have a system, right? But besides the system in the food industry, something very important, because it's a cash intensive business. How did you guys do it? In the sense of, did you get investors? Did you, did it with your own money, or are you selling franchises, or what's your process when it comes to opening locations? Because opening 2,000 locations, it's a lot, and it requires a ton of cash.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, there's a million different ways of doing it. Up to last year, up to store number 5, I self-funded, including maxing out credit cards and savings and family and friends and everything.
All in.
But that's kind of what allowed me to turn around and say, like, hey, I've done it by myself. I have an income. First, I went to the bank. Through I have mentors. Obviously, you can't get anywhere without mentors, and they help me polish the business and say, actually, like, what you did, there's a big likelihood a lot of people can't do it, and the bank can look at it, and so that's how we got the money for our flagship store, and then after that, more investors kind of poured in. Mm-hmm. But I'm very selective, because again, everybody that you have as a partner, you're in bed with, right? Like you can't, right? I've actually shared actual beds with Chris. That's why Chris is coming into my partner. We should have gotten Caleb here too. That would be the trio.
Oh yeah.
I've shared beds with Caleb too. This is not
process.
Nobody's gonna see this.
1 second, Shay. Sorry, just to double check. I just want to make sure that they're running. Yeah. if they're on, that's fine because I just keep hearing those sounds, and I just think it's because they're connected.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
They're all still on.
Okay, perfect. All right, we're good.
Yeah. So when I did the first 4 or 5 stores, I had a method that worked. It was I pour in the money, I open, I bought the equipment, and then by month 4, I'd have to be breaking even. And by month 6, I have to be drawing an income from it. When you open 5 at the same time, that doesn't work like that. Like literally, because I cannot be there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
In that one store.
That formula doesn't work, you're saying?
No, not when you open multiple at the same
Right.
time.
I mean,
it works when
sometimes-
you're opening one at a time.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes for people, and I guess that's what, look, like, we're all immigrants
Yeah.
here, which is great, right? Because we're all on the same page as, like, from the sense of, you come to the States for a better life. You do not know the system.
No. Yeah.
Right? So in every way, you don't know the language so like there's definitely a system in this, in the States that if you learn it and you know it, you can play your cards a little better. But there is that mentality sometimes where, we'll go to the States because we'll open up a business and you'll be successful, or go to school and you'll be successful, right? What can we tell people based on like our experiences and knowledge that we've gained so far with the businesses that we've all been involved in? What would be your advice to somebody that's gonna come, from where you guys come from and want to open up a business here? What are some things that we can tell people to avoid, or so that it can maybe save them that headache or that financial debt? Because with us, like the business that we were in the food industry, like we that whole concept of the business eats first, like it doesn't matter, that's the thing that matters. And even if you don't get paid for a while, like that's, you work in the food industry. We experienced that like the first 4 years, like you put so much of your life into it and you don't have a life because you're just powering that thing that you get emotionally attached. So, and when you're emotionally attached, sometimes you make emotional decisions that aren't the best and the most clear-headed. So from your guys' experience, what can we tell people to avoid at the beginning of business, or little things that you've learned along the way that can help somebody a lot in business at the beginning, especially?
For me, I think you have to be open to making mistakes, right? And just pummeling through them. And it kind of changes being a business owner too, right? Yeah, you have the passion, let's say, for food, right? But becoming a business owner ends up sort of, your responsibilities change. So you have to be open to also teaching the passion, the thing that you're passionate about.
Yeah.
And mistakes are going to happen. That's absolutely normal, right? And the key really is to build that mentality of not giving up and really being, taking a look at the problem, finding people who might know the solutions to it, right? And seeking that out. I think that's very effective. It's a very effective tool. People are people. So, when you communicate what your issues are and actually try to seek professionals, to help you figure it out, more often or not, you'll overcome that obstacle, So.
What about you, Breno?
Yeah, no, a church I attend has the really big on the wall. If you don't quit, you win. And that's totally true. I feel like, I graduated from UConn, Connecticut as well. And as I was doing the restaurant and all that, so sometimes they call me to talk to the not the junior, the sophomore, the
Sophomores?
the freshmen, the freshmen, because our flagship store is really next to one of the campus. So I go there often, and I mean the biggest thing I always tell them is like, don't take your country values for granted, because what allowed me to make it here, if you put me in my drive or Chris in his drive in other countries, we wouldn't have the same result. That's a fact. That's absolutely fact. There's a mix of things here in this country that allows for someone like us that maybe doesn't even speak the language to be able to feed their family and employ 58 people. There's just something very special about this. I've come from Brazil. My dad's was born in Italy, so we went there a lot, and I know that in at least the countries that I'm aware of, there's not the result would not have that be the same.
Yeah. So, and what is it like? What is something that, like, let's say I want to open up my business, right? And I go to you guys and I say, like, look, man, I want to open up a business in the food industry. What can you tell me? You know,
less is more.
Less is more.
Less is more.
In what sense?
Everything. Menu items, less. If you're thinking of 20 items, go back to 3 and then negotiate with yourself. Maybe you hit 10.
Okay.
Because it's better to add than to take out.
100%,
right?
yeah.
From when you put, if you put 20 items and then you end up taking out 10 2 years after, it would be better to start with 3 items and then keep adding if needed.
And do those 3 items really well, and you'll have more time to spend with your customers. Maybe find something that, I know it sounds crazy, but especially for you guys in the marketing industry, but maybe you need less customers than more, because maybe you can take more from less customers if you provide more value to them.
Right.
Less employees are better than the more. Less partners, less everything, really.
Right. Right. And would you say, if it's kind of the same situation again, okay, you give me that advice and I say to you, I want to, fund this thing. Do I go all in on my money? What do I do? Do I take out a loan? Do I get an investor? What direction do I go in?
I would start small for sure,
Bootstrap, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Bootstrap. That's the whole essence of it, start small, generate revenue. Now, to do it smart as well, a lot of people, I would say, have that mentality of like cash is king, but really, in this day and age, it's not king. I would say recording this revenue to prove that your business, and then from there you can find funding. With tools nowadays like Square, Clover, and whatnot. As long as you have recorded revenue, they'll even give you the loan that you need to upgrade your business at. That's not normal knowledge. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think that's even more important than keeping cash under the bed. So,
Well, yeah, we're just talking about the American way of doing things, right?
Yeah.
The system will reward you if you play by the rules.
Yeah.
If you understand the rules.
So
Right.
you feel that's smarter to take out a loan than to use your actual savings to open up a business?
Well, if you don't have a business or a track record, how do you get a loan?
yeah, you're unlendable at that point.
And,
right? So,
and the food industry, it's a high risk for banks.
oh, absolutely.
So you kind of have to sometimes get hard money.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, you have to get hard money for sure.
So I think, and this is my personal opinion, based on our experience, that in the food industry, never using your own cash, I think it's key, because no matter what, both ways are risky.
Yeah,
Using either hard money or bank's money or friends, family, it's almost like the people that are involved have to know the risk that's in it.
absolutely.
And unfortunately, the majority of people don't know.
Yeah.
And they just see the results. They don't see the back end of how things get made and created. So what do you think? Is it also important to have the correct partner when it comes to funding? Not the one to be investor.
Not an investor. That's investor and partners are different.
Yeah.
Two different things. Absolutely.
What do you think about?
You need the investor when you have the system down and you want to multiply.
Correct.
You need the partner for every other occasion. So when you're building a business, you just need complementary people that can add to it. So my partners, right? I have one partner who owns a construction company. So he does all of our maintenance, all of our building. I have another partner who is very big in the consultancy world, right? So he worked for big companies. He's firm consulted from big companies. He did a lot of projects for Starbucks, so to Dunkin' in our industry, and Pepsi, and all sorts. So he looks at our he helps our numbers and scalability. And then you take Chris, who is his food and his the magic. When you taste something and you go like, there's just something more here, and it makes you like really come back. Like that's in. Like he everything that he does is over the top. Like it's top notch. It's like just special. It's different. Intangible. Not something that I'm sure you can train somebody if you enough, but there's something very special about him.
Yeah.
Caleb as well. Caleb, right? Caleb, there's something very special about him and coffee. And so last year when we doubled in units, I looked at myself and I'm like, my formula is not working. Like, I thought I can't be in every place. I have to bring people that are on the same level as me to work in the company. So I reached out to Chris. I'm like, Chris, can you take care of the back of the house and catering and food? Just can you bring our menu to the next level and consistency? And then Caleb, he got he started a great business here in town, Narrative, and he made a couple mistakes that led to his exit. And I said, we tried to actually merge. We tried to buy Narrative out, and it didn't work out. So I said, well, the plan B is, come work for us if you want, And he's like, yeah. So he's our coffee director. We just launched our own roasted coffee. We're wholesaling and everything now. So
nice.
It came to a full. It's complete.
And we're donating 10% to our education fund as well for our staff.
Nice.
For all of our means. Yeah.
Wow.
Every retail bag, so that people buy, we're actually saving 10% for education purposes to our staff. So we have a selection process. All of our staff is eligible, and they'll get $5,000 to use towards education. It doesn't have to be in the coffee industry. We have people, as you know, our industry is entry level. So I have a lot of people that this is not a career for them. It might be a means for something else, or maybe there's a second hustle for them. So we wanted to make it very open. It's like, you can use this for your nursing books or your something else.
Yeah, man, I think it says a lot about you guys, because what you guys are doing, like this dynamic, is not easy, and it takes somebody who is open-minded on both ends, like for any type of partnership. And I think it says a lot about you, Breno, in the sense of like how you can, speak to people and get them on board. And then also about you, Chris, how you can be open-minded and say, yeah, I will be on board and join. 'Cause I really believe that there's strength in numbers.
Yeah.
Especially when, like the right people are on your path and on your team. But like the food industry, not easy. You guys are doing it. You guys are killing it. Partnerships, even if it's just, hey, come on board, not easy also. And you guys sound like you're doing it, and you're doing it with Chris, with Caleb. How are you guys? So is it because the vision is just clear? Like there's a main goal at the end, like there's a bigger goal, and everybody sees that goal, and that's what we've decided to aim towards, and that's why we're on board, or what is it? Because like for me, man, like I don't know. I just want this to be like, I don't want like these things that we're doing, these podcasts, to be so polished, like for like the first ones we're kind of getting ready, but I want them to like, I want to know, because I know what you guys are doing is not easy. Like you guys are nice, cool, calm, and collected right now, right here, right? Shit, you're even making me cool, calm, and collected too over here. I'm like, I'm just gonna chill. But like, for me, I know how hard it is. What you guys are doing. So, like,
we love that you're doing it. By the way,
yeah,
because we know the work behind it, and every time, like we were just at Winfield.
Yeah, we were just at Winfield
like 2-3 days ago, and I was telling you about the club sandwich. I mean, it's great. You know, it was great. I even told the cashier, I told her, look, the sandwich is great. You know, thank you so
No,
much.
everything is quality, man.
Yeah.
Like everything's quality. I talked to somebody that was working at that location. He was in the back. Great guy. Like he comes out and like we started talking a little bit.
Bearded guy?
Yes.
Egyptian?
Yeah.
He's
like, yeah, I
amazing.
roasted the turkey and the whole thing. I'm like,
You have
man,
to do
I love
with the
it,
accent. I roasted the turkey.
Yeah.
Like, I made it with love.
I was like,
I made love to the turkey. That's why it's so good.
yeah. When I tasted it, I was like, damn, he roasted it.
So the Turkey Club is a great example of this back of the house things that we have to deal with every single day, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm in line for a grand opening of a different business.
Mm-hmm.
This guy comes up to me. He's a CEO of a Bonita company. He's like, "Hey man, how's it going?" He's like, "Oh, you changed your turkey, right?" I'm like, no, we didn't. From day one, we roasted turkey. That's a little different. We're making chunks, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, you did. I'm like, oh, really? Okay. So I said, you know what? I made a joke right there and then because you have to be like, again, we're all human, right?
Mm-hmm.
I said, here, I have a chef's chat. Like, what would you write, on the chat? So he wrote like, who fucked up the turkey? I was like, okay, we're not gonna write that, but I'll deal with it. I promise, because he's like. So I go back and I say, so with new people in the company, you have to say like, I said, what happened to turkey? Because you clearly told me that was deli turkey, processed. Mm-hmm. We ran out and we didn't have time to cook. I was like, okay, well, just so you know, here at Winfield, like if we don't have that, if we can't make that turkey, you 86 it. You're out of it.
Yeah.
You explain to the customer what happened. Oh, but I don't want to lose the sale. No, I guarantee you that customer that's coming there, he's gonna buy something else, as long as that's made with quality. But now, you might have lost customers because you had customers that were used to the good turkey, and now they have and they're like, oh, maybe they changed management or something. So just. My job nowadays is really coaching people on those instances, or like, just, hey, like this is how we do here, and everything there's a reason, and I didn't know those things until years, I didn't come up with my mission statement until we're year 4 in the company. Mm-hmm. In business school they told me like, oh, you have to come up with a business plan, you have to come up with a mission statement. I'm like, I didn't do that until year 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is your wife involved in Winfield at all?
She's very much not very much involved. She's very involved in the sense that she's an extremely bright person. So like she can give 10 hours in a week and literally be like a full timer. So she helps me a ton. She has
Quality control,
100%. Her standards are so much higher than mine. I don't know how she married me, but at least in the food and presentation, her standards are so much higher.
even visually, aesthetics, like all those stuff.
It's the feminine side.
Happened this weekend actually, because we had to travel. I had to travel a lot the last few weekends, and I was like really down. Like I felt depression coming, and we had like 6 events up in Connecticut. Chris is by himself over there with the team. And I look at my wife, I'm like, I can't do this. Like, I literally can't stay away another weekend from the kids. Like, I'm going to lose it. And she's like, I'll go. And so she goes, and she actually does a better job than me. So she went, she worked with Chris over there on the events. They crushed it.
Yeah. So you just said something that I think is very interesting. So on the outside, right, looking, let's say at you, right? Most people, I'm assuming, 8 locations, 10 locations, 58 employees, traveling, like in charge of, this big team. And you just said, you didn't feel too good, like you felt kind of down. Like let's expand on that a little bit, because on the outside, like I said, like these other things are glory things. Like
Tell us your feelings.
These
things that trend,
I mean, it's part of the game, right?
Yeah.
Gonna cry.
We're human. Absolutely.
I don't know where you guys stand in your faith life, but I got to the bottom, to the pit. I got to the and actually all of our leaders in the company have found the pit at some point, and that's how they're able to
That's how I gravitated to the company, actually. Very lost.
So I got.
We'll expand on that in a little bit too. Yeah. But
Yeah,
go
no.
ahead, Breno.
No, I got to the pit, and we're going to church, but literally not really following the things in church. And then at the point where desperation leads to revelation. Sometimes you're so broken that you kind of can see, that you finally find what it is. For me, it's a deep faith in Christianity, in Jesus Christ. And I know my shortfalls, and the reason why I can keep going and taking one thing at a time is because I know whatever I fall short on, I have a creator that meets me. And if he doesn't meet me, that means I'm not supposed to even be here. You know what I mean? Like, so it's about understanding timing and everything. So for me, I don't know where your faith is. People are all over the place, and everybody has their journey. But for me, it's not about coffee. It's not even about like customers. It's definitely not about money. 100%. First of all, like, you find your purpose in life. My purpose in life is to provide a great service, not just to my customers as well, but to my staff and to my partners, and to and that's what I focus on.
Well, just so everybody knows, when they both walked in, we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mics, and then we have Shay that's there. She's normally sitting here, but you said, no, I want him to be in the like that. That talks a lot to me about leadership, right? And also thinking about the people around you, right? Because he's a huge part of your company, and just including your team at all times, I think just says a lot about the person that's leading, So that was great.
Yeah, and then Chris, talk to us a little bit about, because we talked about you having the food trucks.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And then also the restaurant, or going in to restaurants. But why did that close? And then how did you end up linking with?
So first year of COVID, everything was kind of going good. I had my you had the support, you had all these things, but at that time I was burning out. I was really burning out. I had all these things. I have a lot of staff, a lot of people to take care of. But I just, things were getting out of hand in my own personal life too, So I decided to sell the business. I tried to go towards real estate and other things more by myself, because I was so burnt out with people and just things, no faith, just, very, very, just dark stuff, going through these things by myself. But, and then I ended up going to another restaurant group, one of the best restaurant groups in Connecticut too. And I was working there, and I was still kind of still lost, not sure what's going on in my life. You know what I mean? It's not money, it's not all these things. I just no purpose. But talking to Breno, and I'm looking at this guy. I'm like, oh, he's so happy, he's so good. Well, what's it about him? You know what I mean? Continuing to talk further, and how he was able to sort of talk about his faith and whatnot, and that honestly, it's opened so much doors for me, even for myself. I've never been a faithful person, just to myself, very, very selfish. Now I don't know, I feel like Chris 2.0 now, you know what I mean? Being able to contribute to this business too, and so many learning lessons that I have that I can, implement as well. And Breno and I, we talk every day, not even about business too, about faith at the end of the day, And
how was it like closing the business? Because
dark.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, ego, pride. Like me going to work for somebody else. I was a business owner. You know what I mean? I was an icon in this around here. I'm gonna go work for other people.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
So I had to break myself down. I really did. And
that's great, man. Yeah. That's freaking great. I love that, because sometimes you're so involved in your business, whether it's highs or lows, and especially in the lows, you never really think, I'm going to close. You never think that your life can change like this. That's the last thing you think.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You never think that your life could change like so fast. And it can mess people up really badly in the sense of mentally, because you're so used to your life being a certain way. We're not even talking about lifestyle. I'm talking about just what you do for a
In
living.
life, yeah,
You know,
absolutely, absolutely.
that you close like, and if you close bad, not bad, but you know what I mean. Like if you close like not the exit that you thought,
Yeah.
the most people think, you know, the exit, like a big exit like that, but. If you close like that, it kind of can mess with you for a while, you know. So
How many years in?
7.
You
Seven.
closed on your
Yeah,
7th year.
7 years. Yeah, 7 years.
yeah.
7 years.
We closed we closed 11 days before our 9th year anniversary and 1 day before my dad's like 78th birthday or something like that. And the reason why we opened the business was a lot because of my dad. Main reason was my dad, because he had a bakery in Peru. So that birthday was a rough birthday, but you know, things like that, you know, and it took us like a month of just like, you know, kind of analyzing like, this is a completely different rhythm, you know, and like, what do you do? Do you want, I said, I had the opportunity to go back into the food industry. The next day, I got a call from somebody that, you know, moves, you know, is involved in the food industry here. And I had the opportunity to go back in, but I was so beat up from that. I felt beat up from that industry that I was like, no, man, I can't go back into that. I'd rather do anything else.
We even had calls from people like we know a lot of people in Naples because of the years that we've been here, and a lot of people saw our journey and how much effort we put into the business that we were in, and a lot of people loved the business. That we even got calls like right after we closed, like, how can we reopen the place? Like, what do you need? We'll be here for you. Like this and that. We had some friends that are pretty good in the area, and we said no to all of them. We're like, you know what, we just need to figure things out, and because we're putting in mind everything that we've done for the business throughout all these years, that it's almost like you're riding a motorcycle. You get out and you don't want to go again on a motorcycle. You want to kind of stop and see and figure things out. What's the best for you, for your family, and but yeah, closing, it's tough.
And you went right back into the food industry, right?
I tried, tried real estate. I got my coding. I was actually coding for a little bit too, well, very, very briefly. But honestly, that was too quiet for me.
Yeah.
Too quiet. I found, coming into Winfield, at first I was kind of skeptical. I'm like, what am I going to do in a coffee shop? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. What am I going to do? Like, I'm a chef, you know what I mean? I'm working at, the service style. But honestly, there's so much work that, there's so much work.
Yeah.
There's a lot of work, the grab and grow programs, the commissary, being in multiple places, leading, teaching people.
Yeah.
That's
how does your guys' schedule look? Because you said there's 2 here, 3 in Connecticut,
and then the rest
in New
5
York City.
In New York.
Yeah.
So how's the schedule looking like for you guys?
Well, we're getting better at that. Like we identified our priorities. Mm-hmm. So now we have a list of 5 priorities in order, and we're deploying our time into those. And we can only do so much, right? So, Chris time right now is we had to swap out an entire team from one of the stores. We put them in other locations, and we started over our oldest store actually. Had a lot of old habits, a lot of, just it was not us anymore. We had to just, we're going to clean house. We love the people that work there, so we just put them in different positions.
Places, yeah.
And we go hire new people, get new equipment right here, and just keep on going, just really bring the store up to the standard that it is today. And that's where Chris is spending all his time now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is that where's the headquarter location? Where is that?
Stanford. Yeah, that is it's in the middle of the city, right in the middle of the city. Is that the one
with the all glass?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice, man.
Yeah.
It looks big.
Yeah, that's a great
big.
store.
It's located in a lot of corporate settings, so we cater to a lot of them. Like by 9 o'clock, we're already.
Remember I told you about when I met my wife?
Yes.
Where they were considering going to Starbucks or across the street. Well, that location, our flagship, that was the Starbucks that they were considering going into. The Starbucks was there for 20 years. Actually.
Oh, really?
And,
Wow.
Crazy thing is, I used to tell my wife all the time, they had this big Starbucks lit sign up. Each window has one letter. But there was always 3 or 4 letters that were like missing, they're no light. And I said, one day I'm taking over the location and, I'm going to take care of it because they don't care for it.
Yeah. Nice.
It's our flagship now. It's the heart of the town. As soon as you can't miss it, you walk, you drive into town. That's it right there.
Right.
That's our
Next
model
to
for sure.
Yukon, next to there's a family. There's a lot of business. We cater a lot. The location is on fire. It's like.
Is that your busiest location?
Yeah.
Out of all of them?
Now, retail spaces, like from when you started your first location to now, you have multiple locations now. Is it easier for you, or now do you have more knowledge when it comes to retail spaces on what they can do for you? Because at the beginning, a lot of people who open either restaurants or bakeries or coffee shops, they don't know a lot about the landlord, right? About all the things that the landlord can do to make the path easier from when you open.
Yeah.
So is it easier now for you guys to like build locations, like go in and kind of like, this is what I want?
There's a lot of comparison that can be done now. I have good landlords and bad landlords, and I know what the good ones look like and what they're able to do, and we kind of can sort of.
We do our homework
Yeah.
too. Sitting down there, understanding the demographic, who are the people that walk here.
Walking in, the people can.
Yep.
Yeah.
Literally counting per like how many people are walking in a specific area. So that definitely contributes into making the right decision for the right to the right place.
Yeah.
Don't get blinded by your passion by making the right decision.
Yeah.
You have to take your passion away and take a look. Like, is this the right place? Of course you're painting this whole dream. Like that can get in the way from it could literally be a make or break decision. So
Yeah, even the best hole in the wall place that you say like they don't need a good location because look how many people go over there, like in the middle of nowhere. You know how much easier their life would be if they were in a good location,
Right,
Because they're already good in that bad location.
Location is everything.
yeah.
Imagine if they were like in a great location, they'd be like 10 times as much. So
Right.
it's like, location is
Location's everything,
everything.
especially in the food industry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But that's the beauty of bringing like people like Chris, like Caleb, because it's a funny thing the way it works. It's never addition. Like it's not 1 + 1 = 2. Actually, his life experience it multiplies. It's never addition. It's a multiplication. Like our business definitely went to the next level when he walked in the door. Next level when Caleb walked in the door. Like it's just. I mean, we're in a different place.
Yeah.
From the we don't know. Well, we used to serve Caleb actually, but from the little we know about Caleb, we think he's a great guy, and for sure, very passionate about what he does. Like
Loves
I said,
coffee.
the little we know, and that's great. Adding people like that to your team, I think it's always a multiplication for sure.
Yeah, man. And all right, perfect. And then you guys are traveling a lot. Are you traveling a lot for the locations?
Well, actually, recently we went to we're launching a new business as well. Actually,
Really?
yeah, together. So we actually went to Brazil for a few weeks.
It's going to be launching in Brazil?
No. But it's a concept from Brazil. It's
Really?
So for a few years I've been thinking.
We get the
about,
sneak peek.
Yeah, sure thing.
The brigadeiros.
Sort of.
Milkshake. Brigadeiro milkshake.
That's my favorite Brazilian dessert, by the way.
Yeah, I have it always at home.
Yeah.
Really?
My kids can.
It's hard to make, man.
It's
I tried to make it. I burned it.
yeah.
Seriously.
No. We travel together because for years I've been thinking about what can I do to activate our spaces at nighttime. And maybe I don't need to activate. I always thought like I don't our coffee shop is great. I know the business model, but can I do something at nighttime? And then part of Chris coming in, one day I was like, you know what, Chris does like burgers really well. Like that's what he's known for.
Burgers, yeah.
I'm like, there's a street food in Brazil called Cheese.
XIS. Cheese.
XIS,
Yeah.
Cheese.
XIS?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is from the southern part of Brazil, which you never heard of and you never hear about. But it's so popular down there where like in one block...
We went to so many concepts. It's all over there.
I'm sure your hometown has like a street food that is everywhere, right?
Yeah.
this is where I grew up, what I grew up with. And the reason why I thought that was a good idea is because, one, it's authentic, right? The American public want to know, like, why are you serving this? Like, you know, well, I grew up on it. Second is it's very familiar to the American public because it's a mix of Shake Shack with Chipotle, like a smash burger.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
you're smashing the whole burger.
yeah,
Really?
and it's oversized. It's like this.
You're smashing the whole burger. No, not just like the burger patty. You're smashing the whole burger.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn, it sounds good. I didn't eat one thing today.
Hungry now.
And putting it on a drink.
No. It's
I like where your mind goes, though. I really like where your mind goes.
it's like a smash burger concept. It's a bit called Tudo, Tudo. Yeah, super excited to launch it, and
We're running the shadow of the coffee shops at nighttime.
yeah.
We'll drop it. It's going to be a pop-up concept, and there'll be probably all Winfield locations by the end of the year.
Really?
But only like 3 times a week, not all the
Yeah.
time.
So you're definitely doing it here in Naples?
Yeah, 100%.
Is it, and it's gonna be late night or
Late night, yeah.
Late night.
Yeah.
How late are we talking?
We're
Like
talking 1 a.m., right?
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
nice.
You know what it is when you're taking a look, like, you know, our concept, Winfield Coffee. You're not necessarily going to dinner there, right? So it was important to us to understand why people are coming into our doors, and you know, creating a concept like Tudo can open that up for us. Remember, in business too, there are no rules, right? We can. First, we understand our people, the people who are coming in here for us, and then knowing, like, you know, people eat burgers during dinner time too, you know. So yeah, and so this is a mix of all of that, you know, really capitalizing on our space as efficient as possible around the clock.
Yeah.
And we need more
I'm
people in Naples. More businesses in Naples opening till late. You know?
That's like a super. I can't wait till you guys do that, and then also, you know, talk off camera about how it's going, because like Naples is an interesting place, you know, because we did late night during COVID. During the first, literally like 3 weeks into COVID, we said, well, we can't. It's hard to do anything right now, so why don't we do late night? And we opened from like, what was the time? 12 to, or what was it?
Well,
9 to 12.
Yeah.
So 3 hours from 9 p.m. to 12 a.m. And
But the reason we did that was we never done anything like that. But what happened was that from one Sunday to Monday, literally the guy got on the news and said, you know what? We're shutting everything down. And I don't know how it was for you guys, but literally we went from being like super busy to nothing.
yeah, because it was just takeout orders.
Yeah.
So then we decided, let's just do late night and see what happens. And we started posting on social media. And we got busy. We had like 6-7 delivery drivers. We've never been in the delivery business before. So learned a lot about that. But then we did that for like, I don't know how long. And then, you know, other things started opening up again, like like the pizza places, like other options as well. And I see like even restaurants till today, they'll say that they're open later, and then they adjust hours, you know, whether it's summer or whatever, because I feel like Naples is one of those places where there's still not, and also there's like it's a big city. For people say it's a little city from downtown all the way to the States.
Like 15 miles.
Yeah, it's a big city. Yeah. So the number of population, I feel like, is still underpopulated. You know,
it's not as dense. That's why.
Exactly, and like that's why I think all these places. I feel like there should be way more places open later and good food that's open later. Not just the traditional, you know, fast food stuff that's always open, but like places like your place that are open late and have great food. Like you could go at 12 o'clock at night or at 1 o'clock in the morning and have like a great burger, or, you know. But I think people get hyped up here really fast about it, and you're busy right away, and then for some reason it's just kind of like dies down, man. Yeah. Like that's what I've seen. But I'm so interested because, you know, if the product says a lot too. Like if the product's really, really up there, which you guys do awesome stuff, I'm sure it'll get traction fast. So I'm really interested to see. And the cool thing about you guys is you guys have multiple locations in different cities, so you can really study.
Can test that out, yeah.
Yeah.
When is that starting?
Well, it's a
So we
passion.
know.
We don't have a deadline. We have actually done a few tests before. Like we do the. Well, one of the things that Caleb brought is the markets. So he brings artisans to the parking lot of Winfield's, and we do the market.
Oh yeah,
Trying to build culture.
Yeah,
Really.
we've done 2 of those, and then we served Tudo unannounced. Those
You did?
We sold out both times.
Send me a text one next time, so I can just stop by.
Yeah, so we're testing out, but it's a passion project. We want to do it right. We just don't want to put it out. We definitely have Winfield is top of mind. First, we have operation things to take care of.
Right.
In the meantime, we take all of our team that's entrepreneurial, that they want to do something different, and hey, Lynn, here, test out the bun. Like let's start making this, or
Right.
we have everything ready to launch. Again, we want to do it right, and we want it to be. It's not just it's not going to be available all the time. It's got to be this sort
I
of
think that's good.
exclusivity to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
A lot of business models are doing really good, especially in the food industry, about the whole swapping out, the exclusivity side.
I mean, like some people are crazy about shoes and they wait for that drop, and then I have a couple employees who do that. It's like I'm like, dude, you taking 2 hours? Clock out. Go to your break. Do that. He's like, no, but I gotta get it right now. I said, okay, but and so I see like they're literally competing to like who gets that first. I'm like, if we can do that with Tudo, because we're gonna put out an amazing product, and you're gonna talk to your friend about it. And there's gonna be,
and if it's something new, like weekly or however you guys are gonna do it, man, because we do it right now with crumble.
Oh yeah,
cookies. We don't even want them. It's just because it's new.
They have your credit card. It's like,
no, they already got it in our head already.
No,
It's
because
like
they open late too.
and they're
always
open late.
hungry, and like that's the only thing.
I wish you didn't tell me that.
It's like a good excuse to go out.
Yeah, they're late, but they switch up the menu all the time every week.
It's a
I
different
know.
lineup.
Yeah. No, that's great.
So then it just gets in your mind, It's like, damn, like who knows when they're gonna have
And
that
they
again.
close on Sundays, so.
And then they have 6 items, right? And every time I get there, 3 of them are sold out already.
Yeah,
I'm like, what?
Yeah. No, they play with people's heads for sure. Like when that drop comes out. Yeah. Seriously. But man, I'm excited for everything you guys got going. It's very interesting to know like the behind the scenes and of the company, because sometimes you just see kind of, you see the location as a consumer and you just think, this is just a coffee shop, but all the work and all the stories and experiences that are behind it, it's very interesting to know. And it's 58 employees. That's a lot of employees, 10 locations. That's a lot of locations. And you're aiming for 2,000.
Yep.
I love it, man. I can't wait till you guys are back here and it's like, check the 2,000 location mark.
How do you, what's your plan to get to 2,000 and when?
That you see, there's a great quote in the Bible there. Jesus says, like, the time is not for you to know. I put the purpose and the goal in your mind.
And we'll see when it happens.
Timing is not for you to know. So
For
how
me?
and when?
For me to know.
No. He's talking to his disciples. No, the time is not for you to know. And I love that, because that takes the pressure off.
Yes.
I mean, literally, I'm focusing on the issue at hand right now. What are we taking care of? We're a few different things, but we're upgrading the oven in the Westport location, and we're hiring a new person for Croton location, and we're I'm involved in all those things, and it's one thing at a time.
Right.
So the mindset is, it doesn't matter if we get to 2,000 locations. We're just gonna enjoy the journey, but that's the goal.
Yeah, I love you could give me one location. I love what I'm doing right now, and I wouldn't change it for the word. So again, I don't work for anybody. Like I do this. I wake up and I work for the big guy up, and he tells me what to do on a daily basis. So
right. How important is it? How important is, just kind of switching a little bit, because I am interested in on your perspective on this, because I think you have a different perspective. Like, it sounds like you play a long-term game, which a lot of people don't play. How old are you guys, by the way, right now?
35.
we're actually both the same age.
You're both 35?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, how important was at the beginning of your career, of your working life, journey, compared to now, was money a driver for you guys? You know,
I mean, I have
money because Breno, and because you guys we're all immigrants here, and you come for
first
that's mainly the thing that people come here for. So let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, definitely at first, and then you start to learn that's really not focusing on that's not the key to actually attaining that. Funny thing is, right? It all comes like later on when you're focusing on the real important things. So like our systems, our people, the culture that we're building, and understanding all those components, I think is definitely how we're gonna get there. So.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely something that's important about you gotta feed your family, right? That's part of the drive. It's like you have to make it you. So it like Chris said, that can be the end goal. Like it's actually the more you focus on that aspect, the more difficult it becomes. I mean, like, business 101 is like you provide value to the person, to a customer, and they'll pay you for it. If you're not getting enough money, that means the value's not there.
Yep.
Like it's plain and simple. And we're all, projects of our heartbreaks in a sense, business-wise. He had a big heartbreak with Hapa. I had a heartbreak with that first restaurant that I had. I'm grateful that happened within 3 years, as opposed to, Caleb, the same thing, had a heartbreak with Narrative, 6-7 years as well. But we learn, from that. It's heartbreak financially, heartbreak, like you got to kind of reinvent yourself. You have to go back and I have 2 kids, I gotta look them in the eyes and, give them a good life, but also teach them, that I have to feed them first,
Right.
What was the name of the your
My
business?
it's called Hapa, HAPA. Yeah, half Pacific.
So Hapa, I'll tell you I'll give you a little example of how iconic Hapa was, and they were in all sorts of shows. But
I'm sorry to interrupt, but that's why I wanted to ask you. Have you ever been in Shark Tank?
No.
Oh, okay. I can know him from somewhere.
So a few months ago, we're catering a party for the Children's Museum over here in Naples, right? And Chris is here helping out, so he's at the store. So he ends up like taking the catering. He walks in the door with the caterer, like, Hapa guy,
Really?
here in Naples.
Wow.
Like the customer that ordered from us was a customer at Hapa back in Connecticut.
So it was like a mind just like, what the fuck? You're delivering my food? What the hell is going on here?
And that's crazy because you keep saying like it was so iconic, and you would never think like a place like that would close down, right? To the general people, to general mass, but there's so much other things that go on in business.
I mean, some of the best restaurants in the world. I mean, look at Noma, closing down just because it's more than the money. It's more than the people. It's about your own, soul. Like sometimes if you feel like you're losing your soul for this, or like you're.
But I think it just goes to show, man, how hard business is.
Yeah.
Because I this is something we talk about a lot, and I tell my brother, like, I really hate how it's so, like, it trends like it's such an amazing thing. And, like, if you open up in the stupid videos that, like, you open up a business and then next month you write off a car, like, it's just like, it's just crazy, There's so much things that trend on social media that are just not true about business, or they might be level 50 in business. First, you got to do the first 49.
That's the problem too with social media. It's only a minute or two that you're able to see, right? Mm-hmm. But it really doesn't summarize.
I can guarantee you that in I don't know how many years, when we get to 2,000 stores, there are going to be people calling us overnight successes. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. And like right now, like you say 2000, and I think that the mindset is everything, right? So like it clearly sounds like you guys are focused on the long term play, and you say 2000, like even we're like 2000
good.
shit.
That's the idea,
but
it's good to have.
If I don't hear a laugh or a gasp, it's like that's not a good goal.
I love that, man. I love that. Yeah. And why 2000? Is it because of what? Like, is it because you want the name to just be everywhere? Is it because at 2,000, people are going to be like, damn, 2,000, that's a lot of...
Yeah.
Financially, Breno must be good right now at 2,000. You know, so what is it? Because that's how a lot of people see it. So
No. It comes down to the basics. Like I see the impact that we have in our staff right now. 58 people that work with us. Where like, you know, we can literally impact their day-to-day life, you know, not just with the financial grant, but like literally the conversations. Our managers have deep conversations with the staff on a day-to-day about life stuff, right? One of the things I pray about is that myself included and our people, we can talk about deep stuff. We're not talking about the color of the car or, you know, having to get a haircut. No, I want to talk about life, you know, life and things above. So the impact on the staff, but impact on the customers too. I have customers that come up to me like so because I travel so much between the stores, right? I can't be regularly in one store every day, but I can walk into Stanford today and I'll know the name of 5 people there. I can guarantee you that, because for every customer, we make like I mirror that. I make sure that my staff sees me doing that as well, because you have to be an example. We have deep conversations with customers, so like, you know, just give that extra, you know, why do they come there as opposed to some other place, right?
Right.
And I had this lady comes like, I finally met you. I see you, like your picture on the wall. Like, you know, I worked for Starbucks for 18 years as the development coaching, whatever she is. I gotta tell you, like you're a Christian, right? Because there's gotta be like this place here, like everybody's so happy here, like, you know, that was such a compliment, you know, to say like, you know, like she's like, oh, like here, like she's like, I come here twice a day, you know. So I was like, wow, that's incredible. But that's what I tell my staff is like, look, in most of our stores we have about 3 to 5 minutes of contact to somebody's life every single day. Right, every single day. In the subway stops or the train stops, we have maybe 30 seconds. Doesn't matter. Those are the 3 minutes or 30 seconds of joy that you have to input in the customer's life. By the time they came in and they went on to their lives, if you didn't make their life just a little bit better, just a smile, like it's so easy, right? When you get into the flow of making people's life better, it's so easy, right? My people learn to remember their names, their drinks, we hire people that care about people, right? That's like, you have to be a people lover to work with us, and we're gonna the system is gonna weed you out really quick if you lie in the interview, like, you know, like it's very. I mean, like my staff around it, they're like, no, this one. Like, you know, I'm like, are you okay? Like, you know, you want me to get you a job somewhere else? Like, cause I will. Like, I have a lot of friends. Like, I'm literally like, I don't think you're happy here. It's like, you know?
yeah, man. I love that.
That's great, because lately, like customer service, I don't know what's going on.
I don't know, after COVID, like we were very, very strict when it came to that, and very similar to what you're saying, that even our employees will be like, I don't think he's gonna last. And because you gotta build that culture, you know, for the business, and it's inspiring when you say that, because that's a great way to build an actual business.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, man. Because there's a lot of people building businesses just for the financials reason, you know, and then they forget the most important, which is customer service and the company culture. But you feel that right away, you know, even if like you don't retain clients like that. So.
And you're remembered that way too.
Yeah, but. Yeah, that's the game, right? That's the game of business.
Yep.
Yeah, I learned early on, like everything that I'm really bad at. Like I actually suck at most things business-wise, but you know that as far as instilling people, I think you know I'm good at identifying who can work with us or not. You know, like we had early on we had a personal episode that really shook everything. You know, as building the business for 3 years, and we had our first kid, and my wife is a very accomplished opera singer, actually. She sang everywhere in the world, like Japan. If you know the names of the theaters, think La Scala in Milan, Paris National in Paris, Champs-Élysées, and you know Chile and everywhere really, Austria, Vienna State Opera, when we had our kid and I was working at the business, like she had to stop, kids need the mom more than need the dad, big news. It's like, it's just true. It's like, like there are things that I can't give as a dad, right? We all have our roles, but so that limited her traveling a lot, and she fell into a deep depression. Now our business is there and we're making it do, it's growing. And I have, my wife like depressed, like really like something that I've never seen before. I thought like, when you don't see depression, you don't see mental health, you go like, my thing was like, take a cold shower, cold showers doesn't do shit, right? It's like, no, it's way deeper. So it got to a point where she said like, I'm moving. And I said, you mean we're moving, right? Because, like first promise of God is like, you're going to get a family and your family's going to be good. Second promise, you're going to get the business. So I said, I'll start over, where do you want to move to? She's like, I'm moving to Miami. Okay, we're moving to Miami. Wow. 2018, I said, I prayed to God and I said, well, my business is likely over, but, I can't leave. So I went back and forth. To my surprise, the business got better when I moved away. So
How many locations?
It was very humbling. I had 3 locations. 3. It was very humbling because I found out that I was the problem, actually.
Wow,
I was the bottleneck to people. People just, when you hire the people, everybody has so much potential, right? Everybody, and if you have to unlock those potentials, you leave more responsibility to someone, they'll surprise you. They'll positively surprise you. They'll be better. I mean, I found people in my company that were so much better at me in social media than I was. I'm like, how did I not know? Oh, you never gave me the opportunity, right? About baking than I was, and like, why didn't you never tell me you could make this scone, like mean scone? Oh, you never asked, or like you're.
Yeah.
So I removed myself from that, and first year I was there 3 weeks and down here 1 week in Miami, and then kind of when now I'm 1 week up there and 3 weeks down here.
Wow, man!
Swap that out.
You live in Miami?
I live in Naples. Yeah. No.
Oh, you moved back.
In 2020 I moved to Naples. Miami got a little small for us.
Yeah. So you guys are in Naples. Nice. Dang, man. That was.
Wow.
I love that. Yeah, that's a story right there. I like that. And what else? So, just to to kind of like wrap things up a little bit. Is there anything that you guys want to touch on? It could be anything, like what you got coming up with Winfield. It could be Winfield related. It could be faith related. It could be advice to anybody who may be watching. Because just one person that can take something from it is a win for everybody here. So anything that you guys wanna leave off on?
I think for me, don't be afraid to fail. Look where it's gotten us.
Yeah.
Look to fail, actually.
Yep.
Yeah.
Look to fail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's actually scary when someone feels success and never felt failure, right?
That's what one of the things I joke with God. I talk to God a lot. Like, you can call me crazy, but I go like, God, you must really think my ego's still up high, because I get humbled 3 times a day, like literally like massive humblings, where like I'm reminded how dumb I am, like literally, like daily, in a sense that's a gift in my eye. That's how I see it,
Yeah, definitely, man. Wow. Well, look, it was. Do you want to leave off on something? No, it was great, honestly, to talk with you both, and I love that you both went through failure, and you're still in the game, because the game of business is a tough game to be in. And I also love that you guys are playing a long-term game and way more realistic, in the sense of like 2,000, yeah, that's a lot, but it doesn't matter. It's realistic because you're playing that long-term game. It's not these short-term, results that everybody wants. So it's super inspiring. And I really enjoyed our conversation with you guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Yep. Thank you so much, man. We'll
appreciate
talk.
the time.
We'll talk at 100.
We'll talk at 100. Yes.
We'll talk at 100.
What is it? Nothing of that was recorded.
Hoping it was. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
guys,
We appreciate
man.
it.
Thank you.
Thank you.